To the beginning, 1934. The Detroit Lions actually got their start as the Portsmouth Spartans. That's Portsmouth, Ohio, about halfway between Cincinnati and Charleston, West Virginia.
A radio executive, G.A. Richards, who ran WJR, which was an NBC affiliate at the time, wanted to bring pro football to Detroit and purchased the team.
Detroit already had the Tigers, and in keeping with the city's big cat theme, the team's new owners called the new squad the Lions.
That old yellow lion, that's the original logo for 1934?
Yeah, and it's made such a renaissance in the last few seasons. People, sports fans in particular, and I think Detroiters specifically, are so nostalgic.
True, and yet while we often talk about the Red Wings being an original 6 team, we don't talk as much about the Lions being one of the NFL's original 8.
Absolutely, the Lions are considered among that group that really built the foundation for pro football.
The Spartans' colors were purple and gold. That wouldn't do. I mean, those were Minnesota Vikings colors, even though they wouldn't come along until 27 years later. So, Richards was trying to pick a color. Honolulu blue was in the mix because, the story goes, Richards had taken a trip to Hawaii, still 25 years from becoming a state, by the way, and wanted a shade of blue to match the waters of the Pacific.
Mr. Richards obviously wanting to create an identity unique to the Lions, came up with some color schemes, and one of the great players of that era, Glenn Presnell, was in his office innocently one day, and Mr. Richards had the color swaths on his table and invited Glenn and his wife in, I believe, and they loved Honolulu blue, and that's how it started.
And so it's been Honolulu blue and silver pretty much all that time. There were actually 2 years of red and white, but that's because they hired a coach away from the Indiana Hoosiers, and he brought the colors with him. Fortunately, that didn't last, and good riddance. Keenest loves all of this, the stories, the players, the history, and that's why it meant so much for him to be there at Ford Field to see a different kind of Lions history.
What overwhelmed me, not surprised me, was the sheer unadulterated joy, emotion, love, and that's not stretching it, of the fans. And I'm getting goosebumps right now, because that is the beauty of sport and what it does to a community, especially like Detroit.